Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash the like button the way that female high school teachers smash their students, so this video reaches a wider audience. And now on with the memes. Number one, isn't this woman just an amazing human being? Audrey here cheats on her husband and then he hangs himself. Then she goes on a podcast called Good Hang. You can't make this nonsense up. If it wasn't so tragic, it would be a comedy. Not to mention that he self-deleted and it's still all about her. And women ask men why don't they want to be in relationships these days. Women are so funny they'll take a date to their own husband's funeral. Moving on, why is it that this is the look on a woman's face when she sees a guy with a substance abuse problem in life and has no goals? It's simple really, he just looks hot. The idea that women like bad boys is a bit misleading. Women like good-looking bad boys, that's the difference. Also, some women see a good-looking bad boy loser and think to themselves, I can fix him. It's the same nonsense as men trying to fix hoes into housewives. It can't be done. Number three, this woman says that her skin cleared up and all it took was her boyfriend busting a nut on her face every night. But I'm not buying it. You can clearly see that her face is more tanned on the right. Him busting his nuts all over her was probably just a coincidence with sunny weather. The wonders of sunlight to reduce inflammation and help you heal cannot be overstated. Maybe her boyfriend knows it's just the sun, but is tricking her into thinking that it's his human Kahlua. Up next, many of you saw the recent story about the Indian man in Florida that did a U-turn and ended a family of 3. But most of you don't know about this Indian migrant truck driver in Canada that had an entire hockey team and ended 16 of its players. He's finished a short sentence and is now fighting to not get deported. You just know that in coming years there'll be more and more cases like this one. Stay alert on the roads and pass 18-wheelers, or stay as far back from them as possible. Number 5, someone says that this Princess Diana lookalike is making £200,000 a year on OnlyFans. The simping is strong out there because she looks nothing like Diana. Is this OF for the blind? Once again, I'm assuming that she paid this paper to write this story so she can get more subscribers. If the whole Diana lookalike thing stops working for her, she can just say that she's a Camilla lookalike instead. After all, she actually looks more like her. Moving on, which Cracker Barrel do you prefer? The old or the new? Looks like everyone wants the old version instead, and after they changed their logo, the stock crashed, and they were forced to go back to the old version. Also, I never really thought about it before, but a white guy leaning up against a barrel, is it called that because it's racist or something? The left thinks that they can erase the past and change beauty standards, and then no one will notice. Number 7, is this one of those famous Wagyu cows that I've been hearing so much about? This one does have exceptional milk jugs. The real question is, would you smash her? I would, even with a butter face like that. But the YouTube censors out there need to relax because you can see that she's wearing a bikini underneath because of the strings. Lately I've had to re-edit my memes videos because YouTube seems to think that this is over-sexualized content. Up next, good luck everyone, because here's the rate of people getting married and owning their own home in America by the age of 30. Of course, the left and women will still find a way to blame men for this outcome, when it was actually more likely due to the 19th Amendment that led to this, which was introduced 30 years before all of this. Governments had to print and spend money to keep female voters happy, and it led to the money printers going burr. Not to mention that the Cold War ended, and the rich no longer needed to give the poor and middle classes a proper lifestyle, because they weren't going to become commies. Instead, they just became cultural Marxists. Number 9, after the Sydney Sweeney has great genes ad, The Gap brought every race possible to compete with her. And based on the looks of their lackluster chests, it looks like Sweeney won. The whole multicultural multiplex of losers is threatened by a white girl with big knockers. They're threatened though because they worked so hard over the last 20 years to destroy beauty and pop culture, and all it takes is one semi-attractive mid-woman to undo all of their hard work. Moving on, the Daily Mail says that it's a red flag if you relax by watching true crime shows. Well, considering that women consume more true crime content than men, what does that say about them? To me, it says that hybristophilia is a strong feeling in women, and that their attraction to criminals is definitely a red flag. Women love bad boys and drama, and true crime has both. Women also seem to have a hard time telling the difference between danger and excitement. Number 11, women are generally invisible after 40, and these women share the moment men stop looking their way. Now they have to make an article about it so that men start looking at them again. If they're in their early 30s and fat, men will also stop looking their way. When they're younger, they hate being catcalled and gawked at. And then when they get older, they hate not being catcalled and gawked at as well. But but I bet there's still plenty of bears out there for them to hang around with. Up next, here's another woman that doesn't look 40 yet, but she still looks like she's been beaten by an ugly stick. And she says she'll date anyone and is desperate. If you don't mind having an ugly girlfriend, she promises to be the best girlfriend in the world. Unattractive women might say that, but if you dated her for a year or two, even if you were a chat, her confidence would rise and she would treat you with disrespect. They all do that. This is still sad though. Number 13, someone guessed this woman's background correctly. Someone says she's Mexican because she has this treasure trail. Better be careful though, she might also be an Indian. When I was in high school, there were Greek girls out there that had arms that were 10 times hairier than this. There were guys that liked it, and one of them even told me that the more the better. This Latina looks like she started to morph into their final form, the fridge-size stage. Moving on, Angel Reese from the WNBA says she has options outside of basketball, and she's not afraid to take them if the league doesn't start valuing their female players more. What kind of options? Is she going to have a 50% off sale on an OF page or something? She needs to be grateful that she's being paid money to play basketball with men's money from the NBA. When she says options, what she really means is make options. Number 15, this neo-Nazi changes his gender to serve a sentence in a woman's prison. But how has he changed his gender when I can still see his handlebar mustache? Still, it takes someone who's stunning and brave to put on an outfit like this. I thought he was worried because he would be going to prison full of black people. But apparently this is in Germany. So it's probably the white inmates that'll go after him for being a white supremacist. Up next, Disney is now pushing to make movies that'll bring young men back to the theater. 13 to 28-year-olds with original concepts. I guess they destroyed Marvel and Star Wars and have run out of other IPs to buy and destroy. So they now have to go back to making new content. It was bound to happen eventually. They went woke and now they can go broke. In a year or two, people will be able to make full-length features using AI and Disney will be done. We're about to enter a new golden age of content and big corporations won't be creating most of it. Number 17, going back to Cracker Barrel, if you missed it, it was a female CEO that decided to destroy the brand, and the stock price also crashed after they went woke. My guess is that the board of directors had a meeting and changed the logo back, but the brand damage has been already done. The shares were $150 almost 5 years ago, and now today they're closer to $60. They say it was a right-wing backlash that caused the problem, and not the new logo. Moving on, here's something that's little known. That women that don't have sex are generally grumpy and miserable because they have weaker pelvic floor muscles. Higher rates of heart disease and diabetes, increased menstrual cramps, and other hormonal changes. Not to mention that getting the old pot beef injection and human Kalu acts as an antidepressant. No wonder there's so many single women out there with cats. Their cats take the emotional edge off. Number 19, this woman says her boyfriend dumped her because he got insecure at a party where 5 men that she hooked up with were also guests. He threw his drink at the wall and started screaming about how much of a whore she was and stormed out calling her a cheap slut. She's only 18 and already can't bond with a man ever again. This is yet another reason why you should go your own way and stop dating. It's not insecurity, it's anger. Up next, that's Mick Jagger on the right and his girlfriend Marianne Faithfull. And she seems more interested in Elaine Delon than poor old Mick. Looks like poor old Mick has been heavily upstage and just realized that the only reason she's his girlfriend is so that she can use his status to meet other higher status men that are better looking. Also, why don't his socks match? Am I the only one that finds it ironic that her last name is Faithfull? Because you know that she probably isn't. Number 21, this woman has 2 kids, an 11 and 12-year-old, who were involved in burglaries and violent crimes. But the police ended up arresting her. I guess they did. She should have been watching them, and I wouldn't be surprised if she was secretly the ringleader helping them plan their crimes. Some parents do that. They coach them to do things like shoplift while they make a distraction. Moving on, the NFL's first openly trans cheerleader resigns from the team. They were probably forced to resign after a whole bunch of people canceled their season tickets because of this individual. I recently saw 2 more trans cheerleaders with the Minnesota Vikings. The NFL won't learn their lesson until their viewership numbers start dropping. It's not like men don't have other sports that they can watch like hockey or basketball in the winter. Number 23, someone says, here's the last 1,000 years in one image. And it's probably an image made by a communist. The idea, of course, is that everything white folks have is stolen from the rest of the world. This picture is cute until you realize that the West created 10 times more wealth than Africa ever had to steal. Also, why is everyone ignoring that China has a huge stake in Africa now, as well as Latin American countries these days? Up next, today's leftists and cultural Marxists are losing their minds with Sydney Sweeney. And it makes you wonder how they would react to female celebrities back in the 90s and 2000s if they were around today. Probably the same way or worse. They were trying their hardest to destroy beauty standards so that Chad Rones would find them attractive too. These were the beautiful faces women had back then, and it was before fillers and plastic surgery. No one was bogging themselves back then except the Bogdanov brothers. Number 25 and the last one, you must choose one. And luckily, once again, they changed the logo back to the one with the old man. But imagine if they hadn't, and they wrecked the brand as a result. Female CEOs don't care if they ruin their company so long as they get their golden parachute and can gloat about how they broke the glass ceiling. All the hard work men put into building the company doesn't really matter, as much as them getting their big fat payday. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoyed this series and want me to keep making it, then donate it to PayPal and Subscribe Star links. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.